Now let's get into some defense. And before I say anything else, this is what most people are doing. They're in neutral state. They're not in offense. They're in neutral state or defensive state. And one thing I want to mention, this is why technique is so popular. Because when you're going back to what I was talking about with offense, if you are trying to preserve your technique, so to speak, and hit the same way, it's gonna be harder to play the way I described to these targets. You have to adapt. The way to do it is to adapt your technique to what the other player is doing. That way, when it doesn't matter who you're playing, that you can learn to do this against in all types of different situations. If you try to maintain a certain technique, you're only going to be able to do it on certain balls. And that's why this is unpopular, especially for lower, quote unquote, lower level players, because they're trained to have this, to basically be stuck in their basic technique. So defense, let's say the serve. Let's go back here. Yellow is serving. You know what? Yeah, let's say yellow is serving and doing something. We don't really know what. It doesn't matter. Let's say they're more offensive. They go here. And it's more, let's say it's a flat serve. And green gets the ball back. And green's going to just try to get it back here in the back of the court, right here, to 4 spot. Ideally to 4 spot. And but somewhere past this line here. And let's say green makes it. And yellow is still maybe in a little bit of an offensive position and plays cross court deep here. Green is going to play to 4 again. And yellow is playing the directionals and goes cross court deep here. Maybe a little bit more to the left. Green's going to come over and play to 4 again. This is the pattern. Yellow's going to come over and play again, maybe a more offensive shot this time. Decides to take a little bit more risk and go shorter. If green's good defensive player, they're going to come over here and play again to 4. So you see the pattern. Everything's to 4. This is a big target here. Right here's the 4 spot. Big target in the middle. And this is how you practice this as well. You'll set up, you don't even need the serve, but let's say either way, you could take the serve out. Green player is going to play everything to 4, and yellow is going to move the player around. Okay? Just like that. And that's how you get good at playing defense. And then when you get your short ball, let's say yellow makes a mistake and goes to the red zone. Now, green is going to play to the corner. Now, I've done this specifically against inferior players. I will do this. Let's say green is a 4-5 and yellow is a 4-0, a weaker 4-0, who just returns the ball back in the court with nice, smooth technique. I will play the whole match to 4 until I get a short ball that I like, and then I will hit a corner. I might even take the safer corner, and then I'll come to the net. And I've done this where if you're in the right situation where you're, let's say, just loosely 4-5, you're playing against a 4-0 weaker player, specifically those who are trained this technique, cross-court, trained this very, very basic way, you will win 6-0 every time. They have absolutely no shot if they're thinking that way. So that's more of the defense to offense. But that's how you practice this. And then you can practice going from defense in the situation to playing to these different targets. And that's defense. It's nothing else. It's the use of this 4 spot. I mean, you could get into hitting higher to the 4 spot. You're going to do this naturally. You're naturally going to loop the ball. They're not going to be, you want to take some pace off the ball when you're hitting here to this spot. You want to get some air under it. And yes, that may give the other player a chance to hit winners, but that's the point. That's how you get better at moving. That's how you get better at this movement here. They're going to hit winners on you. That's fine. And then you can play with the speeds of the ball and the spins to this target and play with this target in order to not have them do that, essentially. But this is what you have to do this to get good at defense. You have to allow them to move you around. And that's how you get good at sliding and things like that. It's really good for clay, for on clay. That's how you get good at sliding. Let them move you around. Just keep playing it back to them, to this target here. Not in the 4 spot, because then they'll be able to easily take advantage. So that is basic defense.